Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. GMT 24/7 coming to you live from the 215.
Yo, go get my fucking Timberlands right now. Get me an all black hoodie and a Dickie ski mask. It's up. This is Philly. Fuck, I look like telling a bitch I love. Why the fuck you on my line if you ain't copping the hub? Get the fuck out. Get the fuck back. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck back. Get the fuck out of Philly. You ain't welcome anymore. Get the fuck out of Philly. We don't want you here no more. Get the fuck out. Who the fuck back? Get the fuck out. Who the fuck back? While you was at the Roost picnic, ground those are for a pick. I was still in the studio, cooking up them hits. Tag an artist, take anything you got like Gilly did. You ain't putting niggas on, you ain't on no Philly shit. You ain't calling about a bag, you wanna call about cash. You finessing on them mixtape slots, I paused that. I don't even talk the word to tell me where your balls at. Them little bitches run your life, so tell me where your bra at. I'm silly rapping niggas, we ain't feeling you no more. Get the fuck out of Philly before we kill you at the door. But shame middle of the mall. Now they think he on. All them dissing about them killers till them killers get you gone.
Respect the fuck up. Don't you see the gangsters in the room? We got shot 9 times. You so wasting out of goon. Back the fuck up. Don't you see the gangsters in the room? We got shot 9 times. Me so wasting out of goon. Get the fuck out. Back the fuck up. I'm on my Philly shit. Niggas slide through, walk the roof. Let's show you how to really get you on some silly shit. I'm popping Willie's bitch. All up in the bitty. He get pretty. Let me really spit. Started on the south side. Uptown 41, West Side, had a lot of pride, I was going in. Northfield, at my grandma's house, I was having it. Northeast, they wanted to compete, I was cashing in. Get the fuck out, get the fuck back. If we get mad, you ain't walking in my city, it's Philly, we getting activated. Skied up, thick as a hoodie, you get evaporated. All these niggas entrepreneurs, they got emancipated. And y'all ain't never in the air, I fly in the Eagle. On Broad Street, I bully shit, I get them beanie seagulls. Anywhere in these maxes, don't get greasy. My G no for a cheesesteak, cause it's headpiece.
They still sleeping, but I never been a dream chaser. A green chaser, bags of money on my screensaver. See, I can shoot or I can pass, I've been a team player. You on the block, you about to brawl about a team player. Get the fuck out of Philly. We ain't feeling you no more. Get the fuck out of Philly. We ain't hearing you no more. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck back. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck back.
Bitch, I'm from Philly. If you owe me, you gon' give me mine. I got shooters from Wayne at the city line. I was tracking. They was in the crib watching Digimon. I ain't lacking. I be pissing back and make them get in line. No, this ain't Bethune. I went to school, but I was breaking rules. I was wildin'. I was only 9 first time I made the news. Mama child, I was kind of wild. I started taking blues. Crocodile. I don't do no running. I started shaking rooms. Really sweet. Can't nobody speak it, always make a boom. I'm from Philly, ain't nobody sweet. You gotta take a tool. The struggle, it can take a toll. Punch a nigga, break his nose. On your way to Philly, that ain't smart, you need to change the road. They locked me out, I wouldn't have this shit, and then I changed the code. You think you said crazy automatic, so I changed the mode. Now they moving manually. Told them they can't stand with me. This is Philly, bitch, where niggas show up where your family be. It ain't Christmas time, but they'll burn a nigga family tree. A homicide is on the standard thinking niggas scamming me. This is Philly, niggas they be catching bodies randomly. I'm from Philly, niggas catch a body plead insanity. Get the fuck out, get the fuck back, cause I'm strapped up. Get your bitch.
Listen, I'm from a city where it's brotherly love. Ain't no dickhead, get over here, that's how we show love. With bad joints and that joint, and you a joint too. Got mad joints, pass me the joint, go act like a snoo. I smack joints who disrespect my city called Philly. I got young boys up north, don't give a fuck about your city. Got baddies, fatties who be in South Philly. If you ain't 215, stay the fuck out my city. Move that ass back, get the fuck out. Get your ass clapped, and there you sprawled out. Bring the beef head, get you blown out. My city been fed, your niggas strong out. Get the fuck out, move the fuck back. My city been packed, got Philly on my back. Get a nigga smack, call me a maniac. Yo, pass me that joint, bet you move that ass back. Your niggas strolling, pussy, we not with that shit. Cause my party music on, peanut lock in this bitch. Get the fuck out, move the fuck back. My city been that. Your niggas been wet. Shit, hold the wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished. Nah, niggas in my city rotted out on Broad Street. Killing niggas in my city, lay you out on concrete. Kensington be swarthy, they'll straight for liberty. Up north on Killersby, set you up on Broadly. Bad straws is in the P, hustling like Cassidy. Y'all niggas wanna be us. Jersey, you can't see us. Get the fuck out. Talking Genos is a big plus. Bodies in the suit kit, horses in the big pit. This be my city, come try me. I dare you, get the fuck out. Get your ass back. Move the fuck out. Move the fuck back. Get the fuck out before you get clapped. Move the fuck back. Get your ass back. Will Smith shit.
What's good? What's good, y'all? How y'all doing tonight? Let me see who in the building tonight. We got some shit going down tonight, y'all. We got the Church of the Real Life Buffalo Bill. Y'all remember what's that movie? I think it was Silence of the Lamb. Yeah. Laureen Grant is in the building. Peace to you, Lauren. Riz Laris in the building. What's up, Riz? Man, mine's always. Kisses to you. Breed Love is in the building. How y'all doing tonight? Everybody good? That's what's up. That's what's up. We ain't gonna waste no time here. Tonight, we talking about a guy who, Philadelphia, he had, as you can see from the title, he had what they had called the Church of Horror. He was going around the city. This was happening in 1986. He kidnapped and he raped and tortured 6 women. It started in 86. He kept them a prisoner in his basement. Now, the thing about that was he also ran a church. He had a congregation, you know. They say that he inspired the character Buffalo Bill from the Silence of the Lamb. You know, he tortured his victims, and I'm gonna get into. He did a lot of things. He was a real wild guy. He had 50 members in his church. His congregation started in 1980. It was called the United Church of the Ministers of God. They would meet every Sunday inside his home, and he had this unique way of spinning the Bible, they say, you know. But during this time, he also had a chamber in his basement, a pit, you know, and he had women chained up in the pit, in the house that was also his church. So this guy, Gary Heidnik, we're gonna do a little background on him. He was born in Ohio, 1943. They say he learned how to control people. He had a rough and abusive childhood. He claimed his father abused him and even mocked him, you know, for the bed. He was a bedwetter, and his father would mock him for wetting the bed and hang his sheets outside the window. He said his troubles continued through high school. You know, he was, you know, not very liked. So he graduated and joined the Army. And after his discharge, he got kicked. He got discharged honorably, but he was discharged because he was diagnosed being a schizophrenic personality disorder. He was in there 13 months and they diagnosed him with that. So they discharged him. So he got out of there and he started the United Church of the Ministries of God. Came to Philadelphia. He had 5 followers and a $1,500 investment. You know what I mean? He had $1,500 and he invested in his church. The United Church of the Ministers of God. And the church grew. He raised more than 500,000, half a ticket. He raised over half a ticket, you know, and he learned how to manipulate the people, they say, and he put the skill to use on the women that he started locking up in the basement. He had been charged before with some crimes related to sexual assault before, but he never did no time. He was even charged with a spousal rape of Betty DeSeto, and that was a Philippine mail order bride that he had copped. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, these guys, they cop these brides. Yeah, man, this guy, Gary, he got him a Filipino mail order bride, and he got married to her. They had a child, you know, but they say she left him because one day she came in there and found him in the bed with several people. Wow, Gary. He had 2 other children with 2 different women, you know, but it was through deviant sexual practices. What that mean, y'all? I could start a fake church, but I'm not evil or greedy. Yeah, anybody could do that, y'all. Sarah Maganja's in the bill. Hey, Sarah. Yeah, a lot of people can do that, y'all. That's wild. There's a lot of pop-up churches in here, but they say one of the signs of the last days is when you see churches pop up like storefronts. Yeah. But let's get back to this guy. He used to go on the web and look them up. So his first victim, you know, and guess what, y'all? They say this is how they depict his first victim. They say Josefina Rivera, victim or accomplice. Wow. Ain't that deep? But we're going to get into why they said that. Spousal rape wasn't easy to convict on in the 80s. I don't know. What the hell is that? Like, I don't get those kind of, I don't understand those kind of things, Breed Love. So he was in 1986, he captured Josephine Rivera. And like all the women, you know, they was they got a story on Josephine Rivera. She tells the story also. Y'all can go check her out, man. Her part, you know, but she was a prostitute, and he lured her into the house, you know, about, you know, tricking. But when she was taking her clothes off, no, when she was putting her clothes back on, he came behind and he choked her out. And then he dragged her down to the basement. He shackled her limbs together with chains and bolts and super glue. And he just left her down there for a minute. She said it was like flipping. She was just flipping out down there. He then came down there and beat her with a stick until she stopped screaming for help. And then he threw her in a pit. He boarded it up. He sealed her in, and the only light see came through the thin cracks between the wood covering the overhead. Then he went and kidnapped 5 more in 3 months, all the same way. Trick them, put their clothes on, choke them out, drag them down in the basement, chain them up. The church was running when he was. Yes, as the church was running, Breed Love. The church was running, but this is heavy. That's why I'm telling you. This guy was sick, man. I'm going to get into the church. So he kidnapped 5 more women. Same way. You know what I mean? Because y'all got to remember, when they went in this guy's house, the wallpaper was $100 bills. He had put $100 bills all on his wall. That was the wallpaper. Inside that house, he had $100 bills as wallpaper. You see, he started off with $1,500 and wound up with a half a ticket, $500,000. Yo, Gary Heidnik was riding around the city in a Rolls Royce. That's how come he was picking up these women so easy. He wasn't no stupid guy. This guy was crafty. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all. This dude was right. He had got all that money from the congregation, over 500,000. Who knows? That's just what they say. But in his house, when they went and arrested him, he had $100 bills plastered all over the wall. He was driving around in a white Rolls Royce. Yeah, Gary was crafty. So this is the thing about the women. And the woman, the first one he captured, the first one he kidnapped. I ain't gonna say captured because you only capture animals. They was running. They weren't running. The Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome began to take over the women in the house. So when you cut off from the outside world, you know, like, you know, and we getting tortured, like you might become the real slave to your master. You know what I'm saying? So Rivera, the lady, she became like accomplice. You know, he made her boss the other women around. You know, he would pit them against one another. He would pit them against one another, you know. He did that, and he bring them. He only let them eat hot chocolate and hot dogs, and let her sleep outside. He let her sleep outside the hole while all the other girls had to get back in the hole. But he made it clear to her that if she ever disobeyed him, she would lose all her privileges. You see that? That's the, hey, Mr. Murph, how you doing? Good to see you in the bill. That's that Stockholm Syndrome. They talking about privileges. But when your mind get to that point, you think that your abuser is taking care of you. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know. Yeah. No. Yeah, you could. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a little bit of her, what she said. Yeah, I know. Yeah. No. Yeah, you could. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a little bit of her, what she said. Oh, my bad. My bad, y'all. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna come back to her later. But I'm gonna tell you how he manipulated her into thinking that he was really helping her. Mind control, yeah, via torture. That's crazy, man. But we dealing with women here. So he would put them all on punishment. He would put them on punishment. They would be starved, beaten, and tortured. Sometimes he would duct tape their mouths and jam a screwdriver into their ears just to watch them squirm. See, we talking about a madman here. We talking about a madman here. And this ain't even the worst of them that been walking the streets. You know what I mean? This ain't the worst of them. And then the thing about it is we have people who have the potential to be these type of people. Yeah, let's get to that. You know? So she kept her privilege. She understood. And she also began to aid in the torture. Yup. Once he had her, and one time he had to put the pit, fill it full of water, attach a strip extension cord to the other end of the woman's chains, and he electrocuted them while he watched the shot. You know what I mean? One of them, Deborah Dudley, she died. That was one of the women that died. I think 2 women died, and he didn't. She said he didn't even react, and he said, "Y'all better shut up, for y'all be next." Now here we go. That's my bike pump. Buffalo Bill was a white man, a white boy. Yeah, man, he was Gary Heidnik. This is him, bro. This is him. Put the picture of can you put that picture of Gary Heidnik up? Let me Let me see this. This is the what's her name? Josephine Rivera. I can't get it to play, y'all. I got technical difficulties. Did he really have that secret hole with the lotion? Nah, that wasn't. He ain't had no lotion in there, but he had the hole. He definitely had 5 women in the hole. That's my bike pump, and one of them he became his partner. Now I'm where he killed his first victim, and by electrocuting her while she was in that hole, man. But they say Dudley wasn't the most horrible death in the basement. Sandra Lindsay, a mentally disabled woman. Now, this mentally disabled thing, remember that. I want y'all to remember the mentally disabled. She was trying to survive, but to kill me quick. She caused, ain't cooperating. All right, here she go, y'all.
All I can remember was, and I guess it happened so fast, all I can remember was like a film projector of things that were going on in my life was like.
Can y'all hear her?
Back. When I came to, he had a handcuff on my arm, on my wrist, and he kept saying, "Shut up, keep still. I ain't gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you." Then he took muffler clamps.
Damn.
And put the muffler clamps around my ankle.
Thanks, Rez.
And then he used crazy glue to hold the nuts on. And he dried it with a hair dryer. He kept trying to fit me in this hole, and he kept taking the board and he kept slamming it on my head, trying to get me to fit into this hole. So when I was in there, I was like all cramped up and stuff. And I'm trying to, and I'm like still screaming and hollering because I couldn't breathe, because I had asthma and stuff. And I'm like in all this dirt, and then like I didn't have any room to move and stuff. So he comes back downstairs and he like pulls me out of the hole by my hair. And he has this stick and he's just beating me with this stick. And then he puts me back in there. I was in there for a long time because I know I was in there at least 27 hours because of the times from the radio. The only thing I remember after that is that it was somebody upstairs over top of this hole that was crying. And I know he kept saying, "Come on, Sandy, you know I'm not going to hurt you. You know I'm not going to hurt you, right?" Me and Sandra, for the first month, me and Sandra were there by ourselves. We didn't take it.
So that's the girl who he first captured, and that's the one they said developed the Stockholm syndrome, and that's why they put her as, like, they try to say she was a accomplice, and we talked. She was getting to the girl Sandra Lindsay I was about to speak on, and that was the mentally retarded woman, and she couldn't take the abuse like the others, and as the punishment went on, he just decided to starve her. And then when he tried to give her food, she didn't move. And then when he took the chains off her, she just collapsed. The psychosis of it all. Yeah. It's heavy, man. It's heavy. And then when she fell out and the women start crying, he said he gave them a minute or so to scream at the sight of the dead body of their friend. And then he told them, cut out the bullshit or you'll die next. Like Gary Heidnik he wasn't playing, man. Like, man. Then he dragged their body upstairs. This where the movie stuff comes into play. He cut her into pieces. Her name was Sandra Lindsay. And he cooked her ribs in the oven. He boiled her head on the stove. And the neighbors complained about the pungent odor. But he told the police when they came that he burnt the roast. He put her arms and her legs in the freezer, and then he grounded up her flesh, and he mixed it with dog food, and he brought it down to the other women to eat. That's crazy, man. He brought it down to the other women so they can eat it. Yeah, I get, yeah. As soon as let me, that's why I want you to put it on for me. Right. Yeah. So.
Getty bears, we didn't comb her hair, right? We spent most of the time in the home. He would bring us hot chocolate in the morning for breakfast. And then when we went down, like at night, he would bring down maybe 2 or 3 hot dogs or something like that. And he wanted to have a farm, and he wanted to have all these women on the farm, and with all these kids and blah, blah, blah.
You hear this?
Something happened in the home. By this time right there, everybody had labels in a rank. All of a sudden now, you know, first in charge, second in charge, third in charge. So he was running out of room in the home for everybody. So, since I was there first, it gave me seniority over everybody else. And he would leave me in the basement and put everybody else in the hole, and at least to be in charge of everybody down in the hole, whatever. It caused Sandra to go.
Yeah, Lauren. They was messed up on drugs. They had to be.
He had her handcuffed.
Desperate.
Like 2 ceiling beams. Like for a couple days, and she wasn't eating stuff, and he didn't know. And he was trying to make her eat, and he was like putting bread in her mouth. Because when you got on punishment, first he would just give you water, then he would give you bread and water, and then you, like, I don't know, I guess like he would take away all your privileges, and then you'd have to start all over again, you know? Her whole body just fell. And she was just like, the only thing that was holding her up was just the handcuff, you know?
Dang.
And I kept saying, Lisa, go over there and tap Sandra, and tell her, you know, see what's wrong with her, because her whole body was collapsed. And she kept tapping her, and Sandra didn't move, you know?
All right, y'all. So that was the Sandra Lindsay account. You know what I mean? First-hand account from a woman who was standing there, chained up just like her, and watched her die like that. You know, like, I can only imagine, like, today. That happened in the 80s, like late 80s. So I can imagine today how that lady still think. You know what I mean? Because, you know. So after he mixed the food, he mixed the dog food, you know, and they had no choice. They had to eat her or die, as one of the women, Jacqueline Askew, would later say. If it wasn't for me eating her or dog food, I couldn't be here today. If it wasn't for me eating her or eating dog food, I couldn't be here today. Now, I want to talk about, you know, she started, Josephine, she started helping the girls. He started using her to catch more women, because, you know, he done lost 2, he done killed 2. So he trying to fill the hole back up. So he started letting her go outside to help him pick other women and lure them into the home. But he would be, you know, right there. But she one time they took a trip out of the basement, and after helping her abduct a 7th victim, she convinced them to let her go for just a few minutes so that she could see her family. He would wait at the gas station. They agreed, and she'd come right back. Rivera walked around the corner and out of his sight. Then she rushed over to the nearest phone and called 911. The police came to the gas station. They raided the house. They got after 4 months, They was in there for 4 months, yo. They finally got out. 4 months of torture. That's like POW camps and stuff. Now, this house y'all see on the screen, right? That's also the church. That's also where the women was at. And despite he tried to get an insanity defense, you know what I mean? And his family, his family had money. They tried to get him off of death row. But in 99, they gave him the lethal injection. You know what I mean? Which he really, whew. Now the church, he had a 50-member congregation. And the thing about them, they were still going to church at the house, even while he was fighting his case. They were still going to church. But the thing about the congregation they were all mentally retarded people. He was taking their checks and stuff. You know what I mean? So he wasn't only playing on, and they were black. One of his followers named Tony Brown, he actually helped torture the woman. He thought of himself as Gary's best friend. He was there when he starved Sandra Lindsay to death. And he was there when Heidnik dismembered her body and wrapped her limbs up and labeled them dog meat. He was, however, mentally disabled. He was a victim of Heidnik's manipulation, according to lawyers. A man who fit the pattern of Heidnik victims. He was poor, retarded, and black. Ain't that deep, y'all? That's what they said. That's not me. That's what the article said. Yeah, freedom of speech, I guess. Too much. Too much. That's Bmore, Baltimore. You from Bmore? Y'all got that too much. According to the neighbors, the members of, they calling it a cult now, they all fit the same description. Black, poor, retarded. He held these church services on Sunday. A lot of people came. They were usually mentally retarded. They came, a lot of them. They would all come in droves, giving up that money. You here in Philly? Okay, that's what's up. Coming in droves to drop off that money, man. And he got them women in the basement. They said the most terrifying part of the story, he wasn't just an unhinged sadist willing to torture, murder, and cannibalize a basement full of women. He was able to get people to help him. And if that man was a woman, he would have did the same thing to him. We appreciate that. That's my bike pump. Shout out to the HKC. Yo, he worse than Ted Bundy. Well, you can't say, yeah, because oh man, Ted wasn't eating people and stuff, and he didn't manipulate to that extent. This guy manipulate. You gotta understand, Lauren, this guy didn't only manipulate the people in order to do his crimes, he was able to manipulate them and to finance that shit too. A half a ticket, 500,000, and that's the low end. That was the low end. This dude is what you call diabolical. That's what he was. So they tried, his family, they say his family even tried to get some money from the depiction of the Buffalo Bill character. You know what I mean? Because in all actuality, That's where they came up with that character from, Gary Heidnik. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm gonna let y'all hear sis and what she was talking about, man. When they caught her up, when she got caught all up.
So he just puts the key in the handcuff, and her whole body falls, and her back of her head hits the concrete, or like the hole, the surrounding of the hole. It's the back of her head like hits the corner of this hole, and he's like, she's dead. You know, she's dead. And that like really had me so messed up because Sandra had been there with me from the beginning, you know. He like takes a chain off and stuff, and you know, he takes her upstairs. He got Sandra's head cooking in a pot upstairs, right? And he got her ribs and stuff in a little roasting pan in the oven, you know, and her arms and stuff is in the freezer.
Dang.
And he says that if I don't cut out my bullshit, that this is going to be me. They were watching an Apple dog food commercial or some kind of food dog food commercial, and they were like saying, damn, that dog food looks good. It looks good enough to eat. So Donna says,
this the girls were saying that in the basement.
Deborah says that she would eat dog food and stuff if you would give it to her, but that's not what she said. So Gary goes upstairs and he gets the dog food and he brings it downstairs and he makes these three eat them, the ones that was on punishment. He was taking Sandra's body and grinding it in a food processor and mixing it with this dog food that he was feeding these three other girls. He used to fill the hole up with water and take electrical wire, well, like a plug that you plug in. He would take strip the two wires, and then he would take the wire while they're in the water and put it on their chains. And in the beginning, Deborah was hollering, and then she didn't holler anymore. He thought something was wrong with the wire. I said, look down in that hole and see what's wrong with that girl. I said, because she keeps saying Deborah dead, that she laid face down in the water. So he finally lifts up the board.
10 years, Riz, they breed them every day. Every day.
And he's like, picks her up, like, by her hair, back of her head. So he's like, yeah, he's right, she's dead. And now he's like, now all my troubles are over with. Now I can get back to having a peaceful basement. I, Josephine Rivera, and Gary Heidnik, electrocuted Deborah Dudley at 3520 North Marshall Street on whatever day it was. I can't remember. It might have been, because it was freedom, 25th. Might have been like the 21st of March, 1987. By
talking too kind for you, breathe love.
Applying electricity to her chains while sitting in a pool of water. Anytime that you're cut off from the world outside, and whoever's holding you captive, the same person after a period of time, you're going to grow to like him regardless, because he's your only contact to things that are outside, or he's your only source of survival. And over a period of time, psychologically, you notice, you know that this is the person that's got to bring you bread and water. And
that's a good question.
Things like that. So
I doubt it.
He just created his own little world in his basement, and everybody just kind of pretty much dealt with it, I guess, in their own way.
Yo, I want y'all to go check out her story somewhere. Y'all can Google it. I'm quite sure it's on YouTube. Her name is Josephine Rivera. You know what I mean? And she was the girl that escaped and helped all the other chicks get out of there. You know what I mean? The next one will be, is the true question, especially with all the, amen. It gets deeper because of the technology, Riz. With the technology, it's easy to track people. It's easy to get their information. And we got all kind of people running around here now. And like I said, bro, they breed them every day, man, because Gary Heidnik, he's not the worst I've ever encountered. You know what I'm saying? He's not. We got a guy that I'm gonna come back on. I did him early, but I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth. And his name is Harrison Marty Graham. You know what I'm saying? Marty Graham go even deeper than this guy here. But yeah, man, he did get executed, and he was the last person that PA executed. Actually, hasn't nobody been executed in Pennsylvania since Gary Heidnik. You know what I mean? He's not the worst. What? No, M3, he's not. We have yet to see the worst because of the things that people can do now, the information that people can gain on other people, and just the mentality that people have. Like a lot of people have become desensitized from certain type of situations. Like, I believe if you let a child sit up and play GTA all day and then give him a real gun, he'll go out and kill somebody and think they're going to come back to life. What's up, Kay? What's up, bro? How you? I really believe that thing. I really believe that subconsciously the society has been desensitized to violence and extreme violence. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's applauded. I ain't gonna say applauded, but it's like we always, they always got to, like, every so often we got to have a mass shooting. You understand what I'm saying? Every so often we got to have some type of catastrophic event far as violence, and then it just goes away. But yeah, we yet to see the worst of them. You know what I mean? Especially with the kind of, man, listen, bro. A boy just went on a killing spree in April from my neighborhood. A boy that I grew up with. You know what I'm saying? So it could be anybody at any time, because you never know what people are going through in their real lives. People can come on the internet and give you anything. They can feed you anything. You know what I'm saying? Give me a minute, y'all.
Say yes up, say yes up. You say ball, you say John, we say I mean, you know why? Because this is Philly. Let's get it, let's go.
Yeah. This is Philly, and we don't say good morning, head dickhead. We don't play that shit here, we'll shoot you in your shit head. Only guns ain't no ones, cause nigga, it ain't shit fed. And the robbing niggas get you if you get bread. Give me head, better move smarter, nigga. That safety off ain't safer, dog, cause they go off the nigga. That pistol turned you faster, thought you was the hardest nigga. Now you calling for the Lord, hoping that he walking with you, cause you can't call for niggas. Pussy move, can't you see a rumor coming through? Pussy move, can't you hear a rumor coming through? Looney Goonies all behind me, yeah, I got a rumor through. Pack the tools, you act the fool, and I'ma tell them drill on you. Spin like parking lots, spray like baccarat. Choppers chop, can't coppers watch. Still on choppers top, pop the Glock, beam on the steam. You can't stop the shot. Think I'm sniping, but I'm typing. All you see is dot, dot, dot. Back the fuck up, move the fuck back. 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 Hold up, I ain't done yet. I ain't had my fun yet. We on them trapping blocks from sun up, all the way to the sunset. Selling grease like these maxes. Make the smokers come back. That paper turn a goofy groupie, but they know you up next. Joey shit dick eating. What the fuck you drawing for? I can shoot you or get you shot. I know the order war. She on my top, I give her cock. She like fuck me harder more. Bitch sweet, eat the meat like a fucking carnivore. I just hit it, then I ditch it. I don't even call a whore. Switch bitches on pictures. I don't even hard no more. Got switches and extensions. You don't want us drawing core. Know some kids that been slid in that tinted car before. Back the fuck up. Move the fuck back. 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 Pussy move. Can't you see a real one coming through? Pussy move. Can't you hear a real one coming through? Looney Goonies all behind me. Yeah, I got let them drill on you. Hold up. Fuck up. Move the fuck out. Who the fuck that? Let's PA with that shit. This for New York City. Had it in store in Philly, I had New York with me. So giant size Knicks out of New York City. Got my fresh pair of boots and bought 2 more Dickies. It's no comparison. The look they trying to give me was embarrassing. It's bad watching everybody be a good Samaritan. Can I talk my shit? I wasn't always this arrogant. But Philly got a cousin named Baltimore, Maryland. The fake love, which coincides with the fake thugs. The fake plugs got you taking all these fake drugs. You can't even feel your face or your taste buds. And when you see that trace smell, it's too late, cuz I won't call away. Gotta keep it taller there. So when you play with guns, that's a game that we all can play. I'm an apex predator, they falling prey. How much you wanna bet that the Mets won't go all the way? It's a cost to pay, you fucking with the church's money. They say you too problematic, but it's working for me. He had 19 bodies before he turned to 20. The angel dust in his blunt got it murdered funny. To keep it the buck, she took a shot at Philly. You can throw your little shade, sis, not at Philly. If you ever lived here, you know it's like that, really. And you ain't got to tag Wallow and don't act guilty. Now hold up, wait a minute, I'm from Philly, PA. With the turnpike bully, me and Philly freeway. Fuck around and get shot, trying to get a cheesesteak. But you could do the alternative and buy my cheesecake. Bah, bah.
We rolling. Oh yeah, y'all. So yo, I appreciate y'all coming in the building tonight. This guy Gary Heidnik, man, I want y'all to think about the fact that, you know, this stuff happens all the time, yo. This stuff is still happening today. This is, yeah, apex predator. Been that. Not like, yeah, what y'all know about that? That's a nigga in the jungle. You know, they don't know about the jungle. Yeah, they don't know about the Phil. But yeah, y'all, Gary Heidnik, y'all look up his story, y'all check him out. You know what I mean? Another guy from Philly, things that happen in the streets of Philadelphia. You know what I mean? Gary Heidnik came through the county prison. You know what I'm saying? I was in that county prison that he came through, called Holmesburg Prison. They put guys like him in what they call, you know, when you go to prison, they got 4 classifications. They got general population for guys like me. Then they got administrative segregation for high profile guys like him, no matter what they do. Then they got administrative custody. That's a guy that's in the jail who's wreaking havoc, and the administration puts him in custody. Then they have protective custody, which a lot of people on the internet would be checking into if they were in there. You know what I mean? So Gary Heidnik was on the segregated housing unit and shit. But when you go to the hospital unit, you could always see those guys and shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, when they be in jail, they just do their own thing. Sit in their cell, smoke their cigarettes, come out on the block, watch the TV, you know what I mean? Get on the phone, take their medication, and they act normal. They be people, you know what I mean? Yo, but I'm gonna tell you about Marty, man. Marty ain't play. You fuck with Marty. They let Marty have the cookie monster in the jail with him. He took it to court with it. Marty was whacked out, yo. Marty was whacked out, yeah. And they recently let Marty off of death row. Marty is in general population. I think he's in Huntington State Prison in Pennsylvania, walking around normally with the rest of the inmates, yo. So imagine if you go in, that's why I be trying to tell people, man, you get locked up, you know what I'm saying? You go in one of these jails and they tell you to go in 221 cell, and you go in there and you don't even know you in there with a motherfucker that killed 7 women and slept with their dead bodies. You don't even know. Yeah, you wouldn't even know what to do. You know what I mean? When he put that pressure on you. Riz Lyris in the building. I appreciate you being here. Breed love always. Kate Cador, Lauren Grant, Sarah Maganja, Miss Murph was in the building, me and Mines. Who else dropped in see me? Kekador always in the house, man. Yo, I appreciate y'all. Y'all know I'm not one of them long-winded guys and shit. I'm just here to drop the, you know what I mean, the jewels and skirt on out. Y'all have a great day. Mars Monday. Put y'all work faces on. Get up, go out, and be somebody. It's the legend, GMT 24/7 coming to you live from the 215, where it definitely ain't safe outside. I'm out, y'all. Have a good one.